Charity Dingle hit back at the manipulative Dr Caitlin Todd in tonight's episode of Emmerdale, though their conflict is clearly not finished yet. While Charity managed to regain a little control, more drama is expected to follow. For months, Dr Todd has tormented Jacob Sugden by intimidating him at work. Her behaviour later escalated, as she also began interfering in his personal life away from the hospital. At the same time, Charity has been hiding a major secret. She agreed to become a surrogate for Sarah and Jacob, and later gave birth to baby Leyla. However, almost no one knows the child was actually conceived after a brief encounter with Ross Barton. Ross had been the only person aware of the truth until Dr Todd uncovered it herself. She then decided to blackmail Charity, demanding £10,000 to keep quiet about the secret. Suddenly, Charity found herself under huge pressure. The latest installment of the ITV soap opened with Charity discussing money problems with Ryan. She asked whether there was anything extra available from the Woolpack's finances, but he admitted the business was struggling. However, he mentioned that the previous week's earnings still needed to be taken to the bank, joking that she shouldn't run off with the cash. Although Charity laughed it off, she appeared uneasy. Later, she crossed paths with Vanessa, who had shared a kiss with Dr Todd the night before. Vanessa also agreed to watch Leyla for Sarah that evening, though Charity's worries about Todd were clearly distracting her. Charity tried multiple ways to gather the money she needed, but every attempt failed. After reading a heartfelt poem from Moses about her loyalty to family, she finally seemed to make a decision. Soon after, Dr Todd turned up and Charity handed over some cash, claiming she had borrowed it from the bank. However, it was only half of what had originally been demanded, causing Todd to become furious. The confrontation quickly became heated, with both women threatening one another. Mackenzie then entered just as tensions were close to boiling over, but Charity covered the situation by claiming the issue was connected to Todd's relationship with Vanessa. Although Charity later reassured her husband that the doctor would be gone from the village the next day, upcoming spoilers suggest Todd will not react well to being challenged. Emmerdale has revealed Cain Dingle's dangerous revenge scheme in an early ITVX episode, as he refuses to forgive Robert Sugden for betraying Moira. Following his prostate surgery, Cain struggled emotionally with having to wear a catheter bag for several weeks and even delayed leaving hospital because of his embarrassment. However, after encouragement from his granddaughter Sarah, he pushed himself to get moving again and was eventually able to return home. Once back in the village during tonight's scenes, Cain quickly senses tension between Robert and Aaron Dingle. After the pair leave, he questions Moira, who reluctantly confesses that Robert planted fake identity papers at Butler's, which resulted in her arrest. Enraged by the revelation, Cain becomes determined to get revenge on Robert. Moira, however, urges him to forget about it and concentrate on recovering from his operation instead. Ignoring her advice, Cain secretly begins organising payback with Sam's assistance. He warns Sam not to reveal anything to Moira. When Sam asks whether the plan is serious, Cain bluntly admits that it is, insisting Robert deserves whatever is coming to him. Spoilers for the upcoming episodes reveal that Robert is later attacked while working at the farm. Speaking about the storyline, Jeff Hordley explained that Cain is consumed by anger. Despite still recovering from surgery and feeling weak, Cain manages to grab a hammer before heading off with Sam to confront Robert. The situation soon escalates when Robert is kidnapped by Sam and restrained to a chair. After regaining consciousness, he finds Cain standing over him holding a hammer, but the question remains just how far Cain is prepared to go in order to make Robert suffer. A concerning new Emmerdale image may have hinted at a troubling future for Dawn, as her dangerous battle with Joe continues to spiral. After discovering that Joe had spent months deceiving her, Dawn decided she wanted revenge. She recently learned that he blackmailed Victoria Sugden, played a role in Moira Dingle ending up behind bars, and was also responsible for destroying Holly Barton's memorial tree. When Dawn confronted him about these incidents, Joe denied everything. Realizing he could lie to her so easily, push Dawn into wanting to strip him of everything he has. Her revenge scheme first began earlier this week when she staged an argument with Belle Dingle in front of Joe. The pair pretended to clash over Take a Vow, and once Belle stepped away, Dawn casually mentioned to Joe that she was interested in buying the business so she would no longer need to work alongside a Dingle. Joe immediately offered to provide the money needed for the purchase. Dawn accepted, but later went to Wishingwell to tell Moira and Belle about the plan. She revealed that Joe's cash would be transferred into her bank account the next day, leaving the trio amused by how smoothly the opening stage of their scheme had gone. Joe's lack of suspicion became even clearer when he later told Dawn he intended to establish trust funds for Clemmy, Lucas, Evan, and their unborn baby. While Joe believed this gesture would reassure Dawn that he would treat all the children equally, it also created another opportunity for her to gain access to his fortune. So far, Dawn's revenge has unfolded surprisingly easily, leading many viewers to suspect that disaster is waiting around the corner. A new promotional image on the ITVX homepage has only added to those concerns, as it appears to hint that Dawn may ultimately lose the battle. In the picture, Dawn is standing outside a dark-looking home farm, wearing a messy bun and a simple dark green coat. Before moving into the luxury lifestyle at Home Farm, Dawn often dressed in a similar way, as appearances were far less important during her difficult past. As a recovering drug addict, her focus back then was mainly on proving she could be a caring mother to Lucas. Because the image resembles the old version of Dawn, fans are wondering whether it foreshadows her losing everything she has worked for. With Olivia Bromley preparing to leave the soap, speculation is growing that Dawn could end up paying the ultimate price instead. Upcoming spoilers seem to support those fears, especially as they reveal how underestimated the danger of going up against a Tate truly is. At the Woolpack, Kane Dingle struggles to hide his rage whenever Joe is nearby, only calming down once Moira intervenes. However, both Moira and Dawn realize the situation could quickly become explosive. Later, Kane vents his fury to the Dingles, leaving Moira deeply worried about Dawn's safety. She urges Dawn to take her children and leave immediately. The warning catches Dawn off guard, and for a moment she realizes just how serious the situation has become. Even so, she refuses to walk away, insisting she has to handle things in her own way despite the risks involved. Meanwhile, Joe continues pretending to be excited about their future together and their upcoming wedding, unaware to Dawn that his emotional behavior is actually deliberate manipulation because he already knows about her betrayal. Graham Foster, who is also aware of Dawn's secret plan, encourages Joe to act before things spiral further. Joe calmly insists he already has everything under control. But events take a horrifying turn when Graham later returns home and discovers Dawn unconscious at the bottom of the stairs while Joe stands above her. The shocking scene leaves one terrifying question hanging in the air. What exactly has Joe done? Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1, while episodes are also available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX and YouTube.